14 days, 2 weeks since I left the ward. And you know, it only really struck me yesterday that the video I did at the outset of being there, uh, called Britannia That's Splendid, was the way it actually went in the end, with them pretty much, meltdowns and so on and so forth like that, which didn't actually square with reality. Um, but in an echo of past times, the majority dictate the the way things go, sort of thing. In some ways, maybe. But anyway, it's a pity that happened because they were good. In the main, they were a good bunch. Um, but yeah, but the thing to focus on for me is today's been so enjoyable and so relaxing in so many ways. I mean, there were food fights, but then I would know that's going to happen. Attempts at food fights, but I know that's going to happen. There were, all sorts of shenanigans going on that I sort of see, like I say, as like commercial TV and radio from some period like the 50s, the 1950s, which just doesn't, like I've said before about other stuff. I just see it for what it is, like the madness that I might have had in response to stuff like that years back. It's just, it's just, you just see this stuff pretty much for what it is, which is like a whole load of commercials, and the Atomic Habits, like I said about the sequences, the Atomic Habits that they've got, where where things go in sequence, and then they try and work with the sequences, and then it's sort of commercial TV. But yeah, looking at stuff as stuff I'd looked into sort of suggested in some ways. I'd seen it all as like commercial TV and commercial radio. Like, the ad men will sell anything. They're all trying to sell anything. And to try and make me susceptible to advertising techniques, as I'll call them, they will use magical potions. But like, even when they're doing that, the danger of me saying this is they'll just up the magic potions. To try and make me susceptible to advertising techniques. They do part of their Atomic Habits is to crack out the magical potions. But like I said, got in touch with a couple of organisations, the local nut house, the local psychiatric unit, because they got in touch. I said, I said what I was planning on doing, which is in the medium term. No, I didn't. I said I was on too many meds, and I need because I'm thinking it's a bit sluggish, but not as sluggish as it might be. But I've got a lot of fatigue, and then I get other things which we know are manufactured. For example, I'm a bit out of breath at the moment. I wouldn't be, but yeah, a really enjoyable day. I've had the windows open. It's been sunny most of the day. I had a fly coming here, which I thought, great. It's a sign of summer. I mean, I could make anything out of that if I wanted to. And in bygone eras, I may well have. But no, not today. Today is like, it's a sign of summer. I mean, we've had other adverts, and it's sort of like, you sort of do think, well, come on, you're just repeating the same old adverts, just with different people, sort of thing. But that, like I've said before, that seems to be what they're stuck with, in so many ways. But the resources I've got, my videos, that do me so much good to just look over them. And today I've been, because it's been such an enjoyable day, because it's been such a relaxing day in so many ways, My thinking has just become more, despite attempts to make it anything but at times, it's just become a lot more, dare I say it, normal. Uh, you know, Despite the attempts to make it otherwise, like I said, despite all the stuff that owes more to 1950s commercial TV and radio than the modern era. Um, but yeah, to see it all, and like to say, I was thinking about getting a deck chair to either go on the island that's out the window, or sit outside my flat watching the commercial TV that goes on all the time. It may well go on for the rest of my days. But yeah, it's a day only 2 weeks after being out of hospital where I've actually, for the first time, been allowed to enjoy solitude to the extent that I can. And that's just been someone else. That really has been someone else. So yeah, we do get the attempts at food fights that just fall flat. We do get, well, when it's sort of, they try to keep their ball rolling sort of thing. The admin. It on the whole, it has just been an enjoyable day. But with so many people, and me pointing out about the guy during the attempts at the Easter bank holiday massacre, shaking his head off outside the coffee shop to try and be noticed. You sort of see that, there's sort of, once you see that, and it's important to see that, you sort of see an element to this that does sort of sum up so much of it, where, when commercial TV, like whatever way commercial TV goes, it's like I said about the hospital, the way they went on in closing stages when I was there. The type of stuff in the car park, for example, that just wasn't interesting. Uh, and all the other crazy stuff that goes on with uh, all of it. No, it does make more sense to characterize it instead of in so many in too many words talking about the same old sequences and so on and so forth. Atomic habits that they've got. Their rush to produce commercial TV, commercial radio. So many ads for so many things that I'm not really interested in. It seems that there's too much of a drive to try and get me interested in things that I ain't interested in. And which is like when I say when you're when druggings take place, when magic potions are administered to try and make you susceptible to advertising that you can see through quite easily. I've not really communicated that. Maybe I will do at a later stage. But to see through that advertising and tie it in with other things, like I've mentioned in recent videos and videos further back, you sort of you just kick back like I have today, and you just enjoy your day. You enjoy your solitude. It has. I thought about going to the park, but I thought, it was too late in the day, and there would have been advertising there. Obviously, there's going to be advertising wherever I go, but yeah, I could have done. It's not a very big park, and it's not a very impressive park. Brinton's Park in Kidderminster, that's the park that's the best park in the town. Um, but yeah, another thing struck me today about TV and radio and music. I don't miss any of them. Films, I don't miss them. And I think that's a good thing as well. Uh, and also, there's something when you get older, or maybe there's something about the vibe I've got, where you can just sit back and just let the day unfold and enjoy your solitude. That's what I do. So it has been an enjoyable day, a day to build on. And yeah, I'll just look at some voting forms I've got there. I ain't going to be voting. I haven't been following it, and I'm not particularly interested. But yeah, Would have been nice to have followed it, but I think we all know, the uses made of the news media, which essentially boils down to whittling it down to commercial TV and radio. However engrossed they are in it, looking around right now, all I see really is nothing much, not even commercial TV and radio. It's just a few cars. And that's another thing. This morning I was sitting around and I was remembering before they really started kicking off the advent, how the traffic used to sound. How you'd hear I think this was 6 a.m. How you'd hear a car's tyres on tarmac. Every now and again. This was like constant, and you saw. But to be charitable to them, to be charitable to the admin. Later on in the day, I noticed that the traffic had actually died down. It was actually, at a pace you would expect at that time of day. So yeah, in total, despite the commercial TV and radio, the Atomic Habits as well, looking pretty strange at times, you just accept it's commercial TV and radio wherever I go. And like, I ain't buying. But, like I said, the danger is, or is it a danger? I don't know. Mature people should be able to say to one another, yes, you are into advertising, but no, I'm not buying. I prefer get my stuff from Amazon.